Welcome back to What Arty Noobs for General Disturbance. We've got a bit of a treat for you today because we've got another double replay featuring CL1CKER. Yes, and look at that, it's the M53, M55 with 3 marks on it. Well, this is the Tier 9 American SPG, and with 3 marks on it, it means that CL1CKER's well practiced with this Arty. It's basically a pattern tank with a huge 8-inch howitzer. That's almost a naval gun, but it's not a naval gun, but it's close. And this is the M55, which of course is the US Army version, because they were the only ones who actually used the 8-inch howitzer. But it's capable of doing a whopping 900 alpha. Whoa! Careful how you drive. 52 millimeters of pen, and he's got a 10.5 meter burst radius with a stun duration of 12.5 to 28 seconds. Okay, he's found a firing position. He's gone straight to the aim. Now, this could be a decent game. At least I think it will be. It's being played early in the morning, but you've got to remember that CL1CKER is actually located in Vietnam. So he's on a different time cycle to the rest of us. Rounds out, Death Star. Direct hit. 375 from his first shot. In fact, CL1CKER does have a lot of followers, but he also has a lot of other players in Vietnam. And of course, they're welcome to join What Arty Noobs if they want to. Just do remember, when you send in the request to join, please do let us have your in-game name, like CL1CKER did, so that we can actually check and make sure you are an Arty player. Rounds out. He's doing a blind one. Okay, we saw the explosion. We didn't see any a blind shot or any non-explosion. So, of course, chances are he actually splashed both guys that were sitting there. But if they were still there, and then more than likely they were, he probably hit both of them at the same time. Now, the M53 was in service with the US Marine Corps between 1952 and 1960. Originally had the 155mm main gun, like the M12. Direct hit, 251. They were used by the United States, Belgium, Turkey, Spain, West Germany, the Republic of China, Taiwan, of course. And yes, they were quite a good Arty, but it was, even though it was based on the pattern tank, and oh, look at that pattern, 2 hit points and he was out of the game. Even though they were based on the pattern tank, it's actually quite small compared to other Artys. And rounds out. Could he get the hit? Yes, he did. Direct hit on that one. They were in service in Vietnam, but we don't know. I don't have any information on where. Supposedly they were taken out of service in 1960, but I'm pretty sure they did actually have some in Vietnam. The engine at the front, of course, because it's a pattern tank that's been reversed, where the front plate should actually be at the other end. So anyway, it's actually got the turret at the end. They actually took them off the production line and then converted them to Artys straight away. The engine is a Continental engine, 12-cylinder, 4-angle V-type. Not sure what that means, but it's, or 4-cycle V-type, sorry, my writing. It's got 810 horsepower at 2,800 revs. So it's basically an aero engine, but was powering the tank, now it's powering an Arty. The weight is quite heavy as well. You wouldn't want to ram an M53 if you can help it. Another good hit. It's 48 tons in weight, so it's very close to being a heavy tank weight. In fact, it's heavier than a Fifi, and that's a heavy tank. So if you ram one of these, you are likely to come off worse. They didn't carry much in the way of shells. They didn't really have space, actually. For the M55, they could only carry 10 203mm 8-inch shells. That's all. And they could fire once every 2 minutes. It took 2 minutes to load it. Of course, the rear end of the Arty would open up and they would dig the spade into the ground. They would reverse into the ground to give it the recoil. Oh, he's about to be assassinated. 50 TP and another. We're only one up on the enemy at the moment. We've located the GW Tiger on the enemy team. There's 2 Artys on the enemy team, but I think he's about to die. I think CL1CKER is about to give him an early retirement. Oh, yes, he got him. He got him. Okay. Now, the again, this vehicle did get serviced by other trucks carrying the ammunition, so they didn't carry all the rounds in. There just isn't enough space within the vehicle, and that's why they had to open the doors at the back of the vehicle, just to have enough space to move about and actually load the shells into the howitzer. They had to have all sorts of dollies and trays to lift the shells up, because they were very heavy shells. And it used 2-part ammunition, of course, the shell and then the charge that actually launched it. You notice how he's moving about as well to get the best angle. Okay, he might be able to get a 2-shotter in here. Get a shell into the Death Star and also the 50 TP at the same time. Because they are keeping... Well, they're apart at the moment, but they were together for a while. And if he doesn't do that, then there is an enemy tank behind. It's a Minotauro sitting on that rock. Okay. He is loaded. He's just deciding where he wants to put the shell. Okay, the 50 TP is not going to be within the splash zone. He's using the mod, which actually shows where the blast radius will be located. Well, he can definitely do the Minotauro, but the rock is, again, a bit of a problem. You see where he hit the last time. It got the turret, and very difficult shot at that because of the problem of trying to get a shell over that ridgeline. It's very difficult. He's going for the Heshbon. Rounds out. Looks good. Oh, fraction of a second down, but he did get stunned, and he got stun assist immediately afterwards. The Heshbon is down to a 1-shot now. So we're 4 tanks up on the enemy. And again, this is, it's actually a standard battle, this one. So, oh, now that's a good one. I mean, he was actually waving his gun at the enemy, saying no, like indicating no. He's got a big mastery symbol for getting the 3rd achievement on mastery. So he's got a lot of ace tankers, that guy. And looks like one of the other Arty, the M53, has actually moved behind the rocks in grid squares C1 or D1. I think he's probably in C1, actually. I think that's where he's decided to go. Okay, there's the CL1CKER lined up. Rock's a bit of a problem. Can get it. This will be a nice one. He's turned his gun. Rounds out. Oh, it hit the rock. Oh, that let him down. That's not his fault. It's sometimes RNG catches you out like that. And he did get caught out on this occasion. But he's decided to change position because he's not getting good arcs. And that's something we should all consider as Arty players. If we get a bad arc, find another spot where you can actually fire from, where you're not going to have the same problem. Moving about really does help the game. Okay, Death Star. Loaded. Rounds out. 141 from splash. It didn't hit the target, just exploded behind it. These guys are getting whittled away bit by bit. Now, the M53, M55 actually carries 20 rounds, but it's enough of these Artys, which I'd be perfectly happy if Wargaming actually gave it more shells. I think it's underloaded on capacity. It really should have 20 or... not 20, it should have 30 shells to make it comparable to the 212A. Rounds out. This is... Oh, it went over the CL1CKER again! That guy's incredibly lucky. That's twice he's been saved. Okay, we're getting a little closer. Change position again. The CL1CKER is now down to a one-shot. And in fact, he's gone. The TVP got him in the end. Okay, we're focusing on this end at the moment. There's still two enemy tanks over on the other side, but one of them's been spotted back near the spawn area, the tortoise. He's gone to defend the cap. Rounds out in the T30, and he got a direct hit. Now, one of the good things about this Arty is it does have a very wide firing arc, which is why it's actually quite popular. It's got a 60-degree arc, 30 degrees either side of the center line. And that means that you can actually aim at a new target without the reticule being too big, so long as it's within the arc. It also has good speed, 56.3 kilometers an hour. It's about the same side as same speed as some medium tanks. Here we go. Rounds out. Direct hit this time. It's also very accurate. It's got a fast reload. I guess really the problem is it does have a poor alpha and on the stock gun, the 155, and it also has a very large profile. It sticks out like a sore thumb. And that's the end of the game. They've done it. Here's the end of battle results, and that was an ace tanker game from CL1CKER in the M53, M55. He got a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits in the game, got 12 in total, and he also got a Confederate for hitting more of the enemy than anyone else on his team. And look at that sheer number of enemy tanks that he hit. He only killed one, the GW Tiger, and he didn't actually get a direct hit. He got a shell that landed right next door to him, but it finished him off. 3,452, which was the win 8. That's a good game. Super Unicum standard. Let's have a look at team score. Didn't get the highest damage in this one. No, that went to the Batchat 25 ton on his team, who got a tank sniper for 4,363 hit points. Didn't get 20%, so he didn't get the high caliber. Second highest damage went to the Gorilla 15 with 3,390. And the third highest, that went to CL1CKER, who got 3,192 hit points of damage. And of course, he got the Confederate. When it came to kills, you can see that the Batchat 25 ton managed to get 3 kills. 2 kills went to the Tortoise, the Type 5 Heavy, who also picked up a steel wall, and also the Minotauro. You can see CL1CKER only got 1 kill, which actually puts him in joint 3rd position. And only 4 members of the enemy team actually managed to get kills in that game. And one of them was that CL1CKER who had those achievement marks for high calibers on the front of his upper plate. And the other one was the Death Star. So no wonder he was in there, because, of course, Death Star's no longer in the gift shop or in the game. If you've got one, you must have been in the game for some time. Okay, so when it came to base XP, it's CL1CKER. 1,180. He's the only one to get over 1,000. Next highest was the Batchat 25 ton, who got 979. And 910 went to the Tortoise on his team as well. He fired 15 rounds, so a good amount of ammunition expended. Still have 5 shells left at the end of the game. 8 direct hits on the enemy. No penetrations, but he did get 16 splash. He could have got a penetration if he'd hit that Heshbon, but unfortunately the shell was just a fraction of a second late, or early, I think it was actually, and missed the target. But he did get 3,192 hit points of damage, and all of that was at more than 300 meters. He damaged 10 of the enemy, killed 1, so there was a 9 difference. He was definitely going to get the Confederate. He was hitting so many different enemy vehicles. 3,788 hit points of stun assist of 15 stuns, and that guaranteed the ace tanker out of it. He also picked up 28,127 credits on a premium count, 25 bonds for mission achievement. Well, he actually probably completed all of his missions in that one, and 1,662 experience points as well. So a solid game showing how good CL1CKER is and how persistent he is, and how he racks out these wins. Just racks out these wins. He's very, very good at putting out the same amount of damage each game repeatedly, which means that it's easier for him to get the marks, because of course he's very consistent. That's the word I think I was looking for. He's a very consistent player, playing at a very, very high level, and that's why he's at the top of the tables. And that's why if you repeat what he does, there's a very good chance you're going to be at the top of the tables as well. Anyway, this is, as I said, this is a 2 replay video. We've got another one coming up now. It actually took place a few hours afterwards, an hour or about an hour after this game was played. So let's have a look at that one. The second replay is on Empire's border, and we're on the northwest corner. Game on. Now this Arty is actually one of the few that actually do have gun depression. It's not much, but it is 5 degrees. And I have actually seen that used to good effect in the game. In fact, I actually saw the player that I formed What Arty Noobs with, Dave Williams, actually he actually fired his howitzer over a ridgeline that was actually in Erlenberg Castle. Now this is the old version, pre-HD, and he actually fired it over the ridgeline into an enemy tank who really couldn't see that Dave was there. And so he actually got splattered by an 8-inch shell at a very short range, which caused a huge amount of damage. In fact, I seem to recall the shell penetrated the enemy heavy, and that was the end of his game. But it was very, very funny when it happens, because, of course, you don't expect an enemy heavy tank to then try and shotgun you at that sort of range. Okay, we just saw a T-62A get hit by the enemy Arty. It's only a GW Tiger in this game, so only the one. It's a tier 10 game with tier 9 tanks in it, so we're bottom tier in this one. 263, lined up. Oh, he changed his mind at the last moment. That guy keeps moving about. Okay, wait for it. Still not loaded. Okay, now he's ready to go, but he's changed target, and it's the Type 71, which is a tier 10 Chinese. It's one of the, what is it, tier 10? I think it's tier 10 Japanese, actually. Rounds out. Direct hit. Yes, I can never remember which one they are now, because they brought out so many tanks recently. It's difficult to know which one you're looking at. But I have actually been in contact with Wargaming. As many of you know, I'm still lobbying to try and get more Arty in the game. In fact, more premium Arty in the game specifically. They don't have to be at higher tiers. It would be okay to put them in tier 5. But maybe tier 6, and at least that way they do appear in tier 8 games. But certainly, Wargaming has the ability to bring them into the game, and if they did, it actually would make them a fortune. Because, as I've said repeatedly, if you bring in Arty, new Arty into the game, everybody has to get them just to try them out. And they'd make a fortune from it. Now, at this one moment, it's looking pretty dicey, because those two, the mouse and the other tank that's with him, I couldn't see which one it was. The IS-32, that's it. Are just sitting on that corner. So he's actually trying to get a better position so he can actually get shells into them if they come around the corner. At the moment, he's getting a red line, and that's because the tower is getting in the way. So he's positioning himself in such a way as he can get a shot at them, and he's got the green line now. Now, he's got 2 at the rear that he can hit, the Hori 3, or he can go for the mouse. The mouse is almost done, so these 2 would probably make the better target, but I think he's going to have to go with the mouse. Is he? No, he's changed his mind again. He wants that, I think he wants that Progetto. He's still getting a red line, though. Checks the 263, can do the 263, rounds out. Well, yes. 263 is no more. He didn't have much in the way of hit points. Or is that the 263? Because according to this, it says he got 341 hit points off the Type 71. I didn't see that there earlier. I think that's something I'm going to have to look at later on. I felt sure that the Type 71 was previous or earlier in the game. Oh, he clipped the rear of the STB for 447. The rear of an STB is relatively thin. And he's moving now because, of course, he needs to get close to his teammates so they can support him. Because the enemy is making a concerted effort to get into the cap. Okay. There's the IS-3. Oh, we've been spotted. Now, enemy Arty is more than likely going to be firing, so he needs to get around that quick and change position. Okay, he's doing that. Just in case enemy Arty tries to make a play for us. Okay, this is interesting, because if he gets to that position, he should be able to fire over that rock, and he can attack the cap area. Now, the Minotaur and the Martian are making their way back to the cap. We can hit the IS-3 too, if we can get him in time. No, weren't able to do it. So he is going to attack the cap as soon as the Minotaur shows us where the enemy is. 2 in the cap. They just need to show us. He can't get the E100. There's the Foch. Rounds out. Gets the reset. And the reset was for 8 capture points. Oh, it looks like there was another reset there because I think the STB just got reset as well. He's down to a 1 shot. So we're aiming for the Foch. The STBs had to pull away. We might have to change target to go to the gate because there's a bunch of enemy tanks trying to get through the gates. Here we go. A Leopard 1. And we're loaded. Okay, they're all trying to come through at the same time. So this could be a multiple hit. Rounds out. Yes, he did hit. Multiple hits. He got the Leopard 1 and the Patton tank at the same time. But he's now thinking about moving back because they're just too close to him. And he might get spotted as he goes up this road. He was spotted. Now he needs to get out of the way of the Martian, so he's cutting across his path, getting into the corner to stop the enemy Arty having a go at him. Can't be hit on that position. Okay. He's going to take up the TD position. Now this is one of those moments when Arty can technically become a TD. And of course he might be able to use that gun depression again if he can get the right shot. Usually it's Arty that's firing on this position to attack the TDs as they try to take sniping shots at the guys up on the hill. This could actually work out to his advantage. But nobody's turned up and he doesn't want to waste time. So I think he's going to change position again. Oh! Now that was interesting because the Martian did get hit, and we've now been hit in the rear from the STB, who is behind us. The Martian's the one that's being hit now. Okay, we've got a shot on the STB. Just. We fire a round in, and unfortunately, we didn't get any joy out of that at all. We're reloading. He's trying to get as far over as he can, so the STB has got a decent shot. But he can shoot over the top of the buildings into them. Well, that was the STB one going down. There's another one to kill. Now, I don't think we can get him with 1 shot unless we get a penetration. We're loaded. Rounds out. Oh, he did! He got him! 870 from a penetrating shot. Excellent. That changes the game dramatically because now they've only got 3,500 hit points to our 768, but it gives us a chance. Okay, got the E100 down there. He's going to have to go back to that position he was trying before, up the slope to see if he can get the angle on the E100. He has got a shot if he can get the right angle. Okay. He's loaded. He did have a shot there, but is the guy going to come out again? I think he has to. If he wants to get a shot on our E900, he has to go around that rock. And then he's going to have an Arty round hitting him. Oh, he's backing up into it. Rounds out. Yes, another hit. He cures the stun straight away, but he does take a hit from the E900. And now that guy's going to take a hit in return because, of course, he knows that he's unloaded. And he misses the shot. And he is in reload. Now, I think we're going to reload before either of those two does. Oh, no, the E900 did reload first, and he got the shot. So there's only 2 enemy left. They got the GW Tiger and the Leopard 1. So this game is now going down to the wire. They still have more hit points than us. Well, we've got numbers on them with 3 against 2. This is turning into a bit of a nail-biter. He's moving away from the cap because he took that big round from the STB-1 right up his rear, and he doesn't want to have that happen again because he would go out the game. Now, it's probably better for him to support the E900 and go down this way. That's where the Leopard was last seen. And remember, he can always shotgun if necessary. If the Leopard 1 chases them, they can... Oh, no, GW Tiger, he's gone. Okay, if the Leopard 1 comes from the cap area and chases us... Now, he's switched to the extra HE, the one without stun. And I think the reason he's done that is because it does have more... It does do more damage. It does 1100 alpha, 65mm to pen, which is more. And it's only got a 6 meters burst radius. But the thing is that if you don't need the stun, you might as well do the damage. Because if there's very few enemy tanks left on the enemy team, you can use the extra HE just to give you a bit of an advantage. I know some players have actually tried playing with nothing but extra HE, the low stun, no stun damage shells, and they've actually had quite a lot of success. You don't get the stun assist, but you certainly do get a lot of damage on the enemy. But he's giving the E900 a bit of an assist. Yeah, there you go. Who says that Arty isn't useful? Of course we are. We actually give... we form a train, if necessary, to help the E900s get moving. It doesn't boost their speed by much, but it's something. Okay, the Leopard's going to have to come back and reset the cap. Once all 3 of us are in, it's going to be very difficult for the enemy. Okay, we've given the E900 enough stimulation. Now we just need to park behind one of the enemy. Technically speaking, we could sit alongside, actually, because if you think about it, it gives the enemy multiple targets to shoot at, and he doesn't know which one he's got to do first. They only get a few seconds to actually get back and reset the cap. Look at that countdown going. 10 seconds to appear. If he does appear, we'll try and get a shotgun. If he doesn't appear, we win the game. And that's it, they've done it! Yes! Well done. Here's the end of battle stats, and that was the second-class tanker from CL1CKER in the M53, M55. Didn't get as much stun assist as he would have liked in this game, and that's why it was only a second class instead of another ace tanker. He did get a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits, though. He got 10 in total, and he also got another Confederate hitting more of the enemy than anyone else on his team. His win rate from this one, 3,461. If you remember on the previous game, it was 3,452. So not much difference between the two on win 8, but a big difference on the results overall. Let's have a look at team score. Well, he didn't get the highest damage. No, that went to the E900, the one he pushed along. 6,117 hit points of damage. He did get the high caliber because he got 20% of the enemy hit pool. Second highest damage in this game turned out to be the STB-1, or at least one of them did. 5,658 hit points of damage. And the third highest, well, that was the Minotauro on our team. The guy who was alongside us right at the end there. He got a Spartan medal and 5,089 hit points of damage. You can see here that CL1CKER got 2,990. He was beaten by 3 players on the enemy team, 3 players on his own team. That means he was in 7th place on damage. When it came to kills, though, you can see the top scorer was the Leopard. He actually did pick up a top gun, but he didn't come back to try and interrupt the cap. So maybe he'd just given up at the end. He thought, yes, if I go back to the cap, I'm going to be facing 3 enemy tanks. One of them is going to kill me. So he thought, well, better off not go back at all. So he got the top in terms of kills, but 5 kills went to the E900, 2 kills went to the Minotaur, the Martian, and also the Object 257. Nobody on the enemy team, apart from the Leopard 1, managed to get more than 1 kill. And in fact, we can see here that, yes, there were 7 players who actually managed to get kills in the enemy team. We also know that CL1CKER only got the 1 kill as well in the game, but again, didn't really mind because it was that STB1, one of the ones who was being a nuisance to him. In fact, was it the one that actually did get the best results? I think it was. Let's have a look at this. Yes, it was. The one at the top here, who was actually second on damage, was the one that CL1CKER wiped out when he fired that 8-inch shell in, went over the buildings and straight into him, wiped him out of the game. So yes, he did take out one of their really good players. Well, their top player actually in the game. So when it came to base XP, I'm afraid CL1CKER's a little further down. And the reason for that, obviously, is the stun assist. He didn't get as much as he wanted in this game, and consequently, he was much, much lower. 1,262 went to the E900, 1,058 went to the Minotaur. Those are the only tanks who managed to get over 1,000 base, with the next highest being the Martian at 979 in third place, and 962 to the 705, and then we've got CL1CKER with 901. So he has got a high score. It's just there was other good players as well on the team. He fired only 10 rounds on this game, so again, comparable to the other one where he didn't get that. Well, he did get 15 rounds off in that game, didn't he? So only 10 in this one. I think that's down to the corridors, the fact that the mountains are very restrictive. You can't get shells everywhere on Empire's border, so it does kind of cut down your fire rate quite a lot. He got 7 direct hits on the enemy, 1 penetrating shot. I think that was the STB1. We'll just confirm that he did get penetrated. Yes, he did. 870. At the time, I thought, oh, he'll just wound him. I didn't think he would actually wipe him out, but he did actually get the rear of the tank, and it went straight through. He also got 7 splashes, 2,990 hit points of damage, of which 2,120 were at more than 300 meters. He did receive 1 hit. It was quite a big one from the STB1, who shot up his rear and penetrated him and took most of his hit points away. But he got revenge anyway. 8 enemy vehicles were damaged. 1 was killed. 503 hit points of stun assist. I did say he got only a little, and only 7 stuns anyway in the game. In fact, a lot of the enemy tanks were getting rid of their stun the moment they actually got it. So it was very difficult to get any stun assist when they used their first aid kits. He got 34 capture points in the cap, and he also got 8 defense points when he reset the Foch. On a premium count, he actually made 54,437 credits in the game. He did have to pay for consumables, but he buys them at a cheap price, which means that you get better results overall because you're spending less credits on your consumables. He also got 1,351 experience points out of it, but this game actually took place at 2:21 in the morning, so it wasn't that long after the last game you saw, the one on steps. So a very short period of time. But as I said in the previous part of the video, said he's very consistent. He racks up the same scores again and again and again because he uses his skill to actually get great shots on the enemy. I hope you enjoyed this replay. If you did, please give the video a like. Do subscribe to our channel. Leave a little comment down below because it feeds the algorithm. And of course, we're still raising money for Edwin E20 to help him keep his home. I'm hoping that if we do get a payment from Google for our YouTube channel, that we will put that towards his GoFundMe. There's a link to his GoFundMe down in the description beneath the video. And I will let everybody on the board know that we have actually sent a payment over to his fund. And he was very grateful when I contacted him to say that we'd all supported him. And he was actually playing Arty at the weekend. Yes, he was going around playing Arty and enjoying it. So, which is good news because normally Awesome Epic guys don't like Arty hitting them. But he was actually using Arty to hit others. So maybe he's actually going to enjoy It's Arty games from now on. Thanks for watching.